Let's start the new episode with some news. Blu-ray releases. Maximum Overdrive Collector's Edition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Loved that movie.
It's available now on Amazon. It came out this month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So it's one of those movies that Stephen King actually directed himself.
Oh, did he? I didn't realize that.
And it was not very good.
I liked it.
Well, it's one of those movies where he said
his trucks.
he hated the outcome of it.
I like
and
the soda
decided
machine
he
that
would-
spit all those cans out at that kid.
Exactly. My kids and I actually watched the movie about a week ago.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the movie in forever.
Yeah,
That was Emilio Estevez, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It kind of holds up a little bit. It's not that bad.
I liked it. It was a good, I mean, it wasn't like scary,
Yeah.
but it was a good concept, and I thought it was a pretty well written movie.
I think it's one of those movies that if they redid it with
Mhm.
like modern special effects and all the computer stuff they can do now, it might be quite a good movie.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked the original.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a remake either, though. It's not one of those ones where it's like, oh, they better not remake it, you know?
Yeah. I wouldn't be bothered by remake. And maybe if we had someone other than Stephen King directing it, it would be good. It's one of those movies because prior to that, everything that he did, he wasn't always happy with.
Mm-hmm.
So he figured, I'm going to direct this one, and wasn't that good. Candyman.
Yeah, I just
Also
saw that.
the collectible version on Blu-ray, remastered from the original prints, and that's available on Amazon this month too.
And also to tie into that, I read that apparently Jordan Peele is
Possible remake.
possible remake. That'd be awesome.
We'll have to see.
He sort of looks like him, doesn't he?
I don't know if he would be the actor.
I
in
think it would
or-
be him directing it.
Yeah, I know, but
But you're right.
He
Yeah,
sorta
now
looks
you
like him.
now you think about it.
I don't know who they would use for Candyman.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody new, maybe.
Could be.
But that was a good movie.
I really like that movie.
And I actually think I might buy the collectible.
Sweets for the sweet.
Yeah,
that was
Candyman.
sort of like one of the first urban horror movies too, I think, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, other than like the old like exploitation films with like Blackula and
My kids and I watched Hereditary.
was this the
And-
first they saw it?
Yeah, and let me tell you something. They both had nightmares for 3 days.
Really?
And they
Wow.
bitched at me about how many nightmares they
But
had.
they
about
liked it.
Yeah.
Well, which
That's
that's
cool.
good because
Yeah.
we kind of all assumed that the younger generation may not
Wouldn't get it?
Yeah, because especially because those girls that walked out behind us talk smack on it.
Yeah, my daughter and my son were like, they were terrified.
Yeah, it was creepy.
Yeah, the ending, the part that my daughter said bothered her the most was at the end when the mom was like
Yeah.
in the corner.
Yeah.
And then she does that like swimming thing across the room.
Yeah.
that was creepy.
Yeah. She said that gave her nightmares for days.
I think the worst part for me was towards the end too, but it was when they were all there in the top of that, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
All the naked people and just
Yep.
the
And this being the third time watching it, I recognize things in it that I didn't see the first 2 times.
Yeah.
Like I was always like, where did the piano wire come from when she was cutting her head off?
oh yeah.
There was a scene when the son woke up and he came downstairs. They had a piano in the living room and it was knocked over and you could see that some of the strings were ripped out.
That's
of it.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that the
Probably
first 2
just
times.
No.
Didn't yeah.
Yeah. There was just so much going on, and my brain was trying to piece everything
Oh,
together
yeah.
that totally blew right by me.
Hmm.
Very good.
Well, that reminds me. I guess I could bring it up this portion since we're just kind of. I went and saw The Nun on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, I know we were all supposed to go to see it, but my daughter wanted to go, and so I liked it. I would say because I've only seen Conjuring and Conjuring 2. I didn't see any of the doll, the Annabelle movies.
Annabelle Origin.
I didn't see any of those.
All right.
Those are
So I would say that I didn't like it quite as much as Conjuring 2. It was still good, I thought. But I don't know if it needed to be a theater experience. Like it was good.
That's what a lot of people have told me. They went to see it and said, you might want to wait.
Although that being said, my daughter for the next 2 nights slept with the light on in her bedroom.
Really?
So I mean, there was some scenes that were, when we watched The Devil's Candy,
Yes.
that group that you
Yeah.
in the background in a couple scenes you just heard like, and it was all dark and gothic because it's take place in an old like
old monk,
monastery or
those old
something.
monk.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there was
songs.
it was creepy. Just not, I don't think as good as Conjuring 2 was.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I heard that. I also heard because now the new Predator is out.
Yeah.
I also heard from someone that was garbage. Wasn't worth
We kind of
watching.
expected it to be once we heard that they had to reshoot it and we're still going to try to keep up with the same
Right,
release
and
date.
that's what I said. That's what I said to my buddy that went to see it. I said, they like reshot a whole bunch of that. He goes, and I didn't realize it, but he goes, it was kind of obvious.
And then they kept the same release date too,
Yeah.
instead of
yeah.
Also, they finally released the rating for Venom.
PG-13.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yep.
Yes. Thanks, Sony Pictures. Thanks a lot.
I thought that Deadpool and Logan would have proven the viability for rated R movies.
I don't get it. I don't know what they're going for. I mean, it's Venom. It's not like Spider-Man. It's not Captain America.
And it just makes the whole thing like the scenes that they kind of hinted at.
Yeah.
Him biting heads off. They're gonna like not show that.
Right. They're gonna show him about to bite the head off and then cut away and then
The head is missing.
Yeah, they'll just show him with his mouth open.
No blood. It'll be a no blood movie.
I'll probably still see it because I like Tom Hardy and I really like Venom, but I'm not gonna be happy about it.
Sony has confirmed that Carnage is going to make an appearance in the movie. And now knowing that it's PG-13, that disappoints me.
Well, yeah, because I mean, he's even crazier than Venom.
Yeah,
Like, he's a serial killer.
Yeah, he's a serial killer that gets possessed.
He's gonna run around
by-
handing out candy to people.
Yeah,
and-
it's just I don't know.
yeah.
That makes me sad.
Thanks, Sony Pictures.
Yeah.
Well, they really screwed up Deadpool the first time that they. Actually, the first 2 times that they brought him out, they not Deadpool. They screwed up Venom once already.
Yes.
And then screwed up Deadpool. Then did all right by Deadpool, but now it looks like they're gonna screw Venom again.
Oh, it's I just thought of it. That Netflix, The Dark Adventures of Sabrina.
Oh, I haven't
Oh
seen
yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it looks really.
Is she a
good.
witch?
Yeah.
Like Sabrina the
But
Teenage
it's-
Witch, or
Yeah, but it's a little darker. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, it looks
like
good.
she's black, or
No,
Oh.
but
Dark, as in dark
Oh.
humor.
oh, all
Dark.
right, gotcha. Well, I mean, that'd be okay. It'd be more progressive of them.
a little scarier, I guess. Yeah. But no, it looks really good. Check out the trailer for it.
Some of the stuff that was posted in the Facebook.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw Eli Roth, History of Horror.
Yeah, I did see that. That should be
looks like it's gonna be good.
that should be nice. Yeah,
And then you posted Into the Dark, the new Hulu original series.
yeah, and I think it's a Bloomhouse production. So
The trailer made my daughter squirm. So
really,
yeah, I
Nice.
can imagine that it's going to be pretty scary.
yeah,
for
and
teenagers.
it looked like it was supposed to be like each one was like a feature length like kind of movie in itself, dealing with that month of the year or something. It was a good concept.
yeah. Hellfest.
Yeah, that actually looks really good
That
too.
looks really good.
And it's a great idea. I hate to say that I had this idea years ago, but I kicking it around, I was like, it'd be a great idea for a horror to just plant some psycho in one of the only thing is you couldn't do like the Halloween haunt because every day that turns back into Dorney Park.
yeah.
So someone would find a corpse laying there and be like, this shouldn't be here. This isn't
Yeah.
a prop.
Yeah.
But since this is a traveling one, all it is that horror fest, you
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah.
it looks good.
They sort of did that with Scream too. Remember, they're in the theater. Everybody was dressed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some good stuff coming out.
Nosferatu live with live music accompanying it. Unfortunately, I'm going to be in Aruba, so I won't be able to
it's a
attend
bummer.
that, but I would love to attend
I'm thinking of going.
because we did that for
That's
Night
down
of
at
Living
the Steel
Dead.
Stacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of going. I just
Yeah, that
got to
might be
figure.
good.
You want to go?
Yeah.
As I say, I don't think Kim would go see that with me.
Yeah. And then that zombie Christmas musical. That I saw 3 different trailers for it now. It looks really good.
It does, right?
It looks very funny. Very unique idea.
It really, and I think is that come out around Christmas, or is that like
Yeah, it's supposed to be end of November, I think.
That'll be nice. We went and saw Krampus around the holidays when it came out, so this will be a good holiday.
Yeah.
For me, Krampus we watch every Thanksgiving. So
Some people watch The Grinch. Some people watch Krampus.
right.
The Creep Show box set comes out also, right?
Yep, that one was announced a while ago. We talked about it on the episode that got deleted.
Yeah.
That was one of the best episodes ever.
No. Yeah, well, what else did we put here? What keeps you alive? Did I watch this trailer?
I think or I did. Maybe we
you
talked about
posted
this.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I've been trying to post some stuff to the website a little bit, even stuff that's not exactly horror related, but for the
Yeah.
most part.
yeah, so that's some horror news there. You want to talk a little bit about Slasher season 1?
Yeah, sure.
Um,
So I watched it months ago.
yeah.
Kim and I watched it, and I really liked it when I first. Actually, it kind of grabs you right away. The first
Absolutely.
episode, like
Yeah,
it off the jump, it.
Yeah. One thing I'll say is it's very gory. Surprisingly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect it to be like that.
I think the thing is like you kind of expect it to be TV show-ish, but it is Netflix, so they can
Oh,
do whatever the
yeah,
hell they
it's-
want,
And
know.
they
And
did.
yeah, I think they're the same thing. I was like, oh, this is going to be like the Scream TV show on MTV. It's not going to be quite as horror-ish as it
Right.
could be, but yeah, they really did a good job.
Yes, they did. And it was gory, and it kind of kept my attention too.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what the hell was going on,
Bless
who
you.
was doing what.
Yeah, and I liked the first season where they kind of played along, almost like with 7, where they kind of did the Deadly Sins ish. Like,
well,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
I had the same thought. It was like a combination of 7, Silence of the Lambs.
yeah,
She'd go visit him in prison. sort
yeah,
of,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah,
Give
they
her
took a
advice.
little bit of those and put them together.
Yeah, on Halloween, that's what I thought it was like. Halloween.
Yeah,
They took-
7 and
They took like
Silence
the
of the Lambs.
best elements of some really good horror movies and mashed them into a show that was really impressive.
yeah, and I thought the Executioner, he was pretty creepy.
Yeah.
That was a cool like Executioner mask, and I like they kept you guessing too. Like every time I thought I was like, it's. I think I know who it is. That
And then,
person would
nope.
die.
Yeah.
Although I think with 3 episodes to go, I finally figured it out.
Yeah, near the end I figured it out, but still, it was still a great
It
TV
was.
show. Definitely worth watching.
I was
for sure.
a little disappointed in the end.
Yeah,
The last episode, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like the tie everything together episode. Like they did the same thing. The second season is really good, and actually, I think I like the second season better than the first. But the last episode's kind of a tie everything together episode.
so every season is a whole different story. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Is it still like the Canadian sort of company that did the first?
I think so. Yeah, the second one takes place like in a retreat in the mountains in the wintertime.
Okay.
A different killer totally. There's a couple of the same actors and actresses in the second one, but
Okay.
they don't play like the same
Yeah,
characters or anything
okay.
like that. But yeah, it's
A little
it's,
like American
it's totally
Horror
different.
Story.
And again, like up until the end of this one, I was like, I have no idea who the killer is. And there's only like 4 people left because there's
Yeah.
a lot of death. And even in the first one, right? I mean, there's a lot of death.
A
And
lot.
There was some cool side stories going on too with the first season,
Yeah,
Yeah.
other than the main story. I thought there was.
yeah, because there was some intrigue there between the guys who were buying up the entire town, and then there was the backstory between the girl who left the town and came back, and her husband who was trying to make a name for himself as a reporter, and
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of good
The cop that kidnapped the girl.
Yeah.
There's
the
like
weird swinger
Yeah.
thing that was gonna
With
Yeah.
their parents.
It
Yeah.
was messed up. That was very messed up.
yeah, I was like, whoa, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could. I sort of got a whiff that it was Canadian right away too, just because they were. I don't know. They included a lot of inclusion, I guess. Right?
Goddamn Canadians are so inclusive.
Yeah. I don't,
Yeah, so it was a good show. I definitely would recommend anyone that's into horror movies or splatter movies. That's definitely it. Slasher, the title doesn't lie, right?
Yeah.
And it's a
yeah,
slasher.
there was some really good kills.
Yeah. I don't want to be spoilerish, but it's definitely. I think if I had to give it a rating myself, 4.5 stars out of 5.
Yeah, I would say 4.5. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like if that was in the theater, which it couldn't have been because it was so long. But I would definitely recommend anybody to see it.
I'll say that's the one thing I like about the TV shows is they can be really long. You could do good character development. You could have a great storyline.
Right.
You're not confined to 1.5 or 2 hours.
Right.
I was very impressed by it.
Plus, for all those people who like slasher movies, for one of the reasons that I do, there is some TNA in it. Not as much as you'd expect, but there is a little bit.
There was some.
There's a little bit.
You finished watch season 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as far as I know, I haven't heard anything about the season 3. I would think there would be. I mean,
would you say that season 2 was good enough to warrant a season 3?
like I said, I think I like 2 better than 1.
Okay.
I mean, it was.
I'll start watching it.
Up until the end, I was like, I give up. I have no idea. It is really good kills again. Really good character. There's some different things going on. You're not really sure.
My daughter started watching it, and she told me there were some like supernatural elements to it or something. Is that true?
I think they try to lean that way.
Okay.
It's one of those things where they throw some red herrings out there, as they
Okay.
did in the first one.
Yeah.
They try to get you to like, oh, I know who it is now.
And then it's gone.
Yeah,
All right.
I think that's one of the red herrings they throw out.
All right. Yeah, so I will watch season 2, and then we'll have to discuss that once we get that done. Something else I mentioned, Stephen King's Castle Rock. You said you watched a couple episodes and it was too slow.
I want to
for you.
say I'm up to 5.
Okay.
And I like it. I don't mind slow, but they just throw like a snippet of something to keep you interested in at the very end.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of the snippet. Like I want something big to happen finally, and it doesn't.
I think part of the problem with that is the writer, right? J.J. Abrams was producing and writing, and he's got that same thing. He does it all the time. You kind of can look back at Lost because he did that,
I never watched that.
and it's all it's like a pattern that he always follows.
Yeah.
And I think that was a flaw with this show. I thought the show overall was good.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much a horror as it was kind of a mystery, maybe like a
Suspense.
thriller
with
type
some
thing.
supernatural possibly involved.
Yeah, I will say that the last episode upset me. I was pissed off. I was angry.
All right
Yeah.
then.
Because to me, I'm the kind of person that I want solid closure. Didn't give it to me, and I was pissed. The other thing too is Hulu. They're stupid once a week, like it's a TV show.
Yeah. Why?
God,
Yeah.
that annoyed the shit out of
I think
me.
that's my other problem. Like, especially this time of year, because I like to watch college football, and there's other new like network shows coming on that I watch. Now it's like, well, you're not really giving me anything to come back and watch you from one week to the next.
Well, and what I did is I watched the first episode, and when the end, it was like a bit of a cliffhanger, making you think. And I'm like, all right, I gotta wait a week for the next show. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wait 5 weeks, and then I'll watch 5 episodes instead of every week watching.
Yeah.
And I did that so that I watched all the episodes at once, and all that was left was the final episode. And I was really psyched because I knew where everything was going. I'm like, they're gonna close it. They're gonna put a closer. They're gonna wrap it up with a bow, and it'll be all done. Nope. I
So
was pissed off.
did they do that because there's going to be another season? Like,
I don't know. I didn't hear any news of a new season.
does does it seem like there could be? I mean,
It seems to me like it's just it's a J.J. Abrams goddamn thing. That's what I'm thinking. That there's not going to be a season 2. The end is just there to fist you and make you pissed off as you leave.
So maybe I won't finish watching then.
I mean, it was good.
I liked. It was kind of cool that you were in Castle Rock, and
and
there was all
the
kinds of
characters
stuff you could like link
Was
back
the,
to other Stephen King.
Was
like,
the Needful Things store?
Yeah, that and they had.
What was it called? I forget the name of the store.
There was a couple shops.
That's what it was called, Needful Things.
Yeah.
There was a couple shops in town. Like, what was it? Claiborne Creamery was like an ice cream shop.
Dolores.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, they were tying it in.
and I swear the one street they rode down at the one part kind of reminded me of the scene from It. Like that was kind of cool.
And they filmed it in Massachusetts, a town that almost is exactly like the town that I visited where Stephen King lives. It was like Bangor, Maine. It was kind of a similar town. And it had the same kind of, small northeastern town where a lot of crazy shit could theoretically really happen. They had the Shawshank prison. They had, it was great.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
And I'm on Twitter all the time. Twitter has become like my second home instead of Facebook. And I follow Stephen King, and he kept every week he'd watch episode and have comments, and people would ask him stuff. And I thought it was good. I was very intrigued by it, but I was upset by the end. And part of that, it just makes me angry as a whole with Hulu because I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but Disney announced that Hulu will be their streaming service.
Oh, really? See, I thought Disney was doing their own.
They own ABC.
Oh, okay.
And they own, what is it, like 90% of Hulu?
Okay, so.
And with the Fox acquisition, they own Hulu. All of it.
Because I knew Netflix is no longer, like after Captain Marvel, I think they're not going to get any more.
Correct. So what's going to happen? Actually, they're not even going to get Captain Marvel. They said Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the last Disney movie to show up on Netflix. And then they're pulling everything off, and it'll be on Hulu. And it'll be an additional price to get the full streaming of all their movies, but there will be no rated R content.
Yeah.
Because Disney.
Oh, wait, so like if you don't like buy like Deadpool or
you won't get it on their streaming service. No rated R. No rated R.
Fucking Mickey.
Yeah. And it annoys the
damn
shit
mouse.
out of me. Because the thing is, Disney tries to play this holier than thou, high road bullshit. And when all this sexual, the Me Too stuff was going on, and now everyone is so very quick to jump to fire people or remove people from office or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the whole thing with
we lost James Gunn because of a joke he made, years ago.
Mm-hmm.
With all that, they were trying to play, Mr. Morality. When it turns out John Lasseter from Pixar, who is a lead animator for all the Disney Pixar movies. Still, he works for Disney. Was accused of sexual harassment by 3 women. They didn't fire him. They gave him a month off without pay and brought him back. You know why?
Yeah,
because he came up with the idea for all those Pixar movies. He's a money making machine.
ATM.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. Goddamn Disney. All right, this week.
Well, you can cruise with Disney out of New York now.
Oh, really?
To Bermuda, Canada, and the Bahamas.
Yeah.
From New York. Yep.
All right, so this week's top 5. Are we ready?
Yeah.
This was tough.
Yeah, as ready as I'm gonna be.
Who goes first this week? Let me see.
I don't recall.
I'm gonna quick look at our website.
I don't have any honorable mentions.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna hold off comment until it's my turn because.
Wow, what the hell? All right. So last week it was me, Chris, Craig. So we're gonna go Craig, Craig, me, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, that
Okay.
works.
So
Yeah.
Craig goes first.
Good.
All right. At number 5, I had Sunshine.
Very good.
Have you seen it?
It's a good choice. Yeah.
No, if I had, I'd probably have it on my list.
Okay. It's
Was
just,
this? Did you find this a difficult list to make?
Wait till you see my list.
Because we put a lot of restrictions on
Yeah.
what you could select, right?
I'm
which
going to
is
hold
good.
off on most comments until you get to my list.
So Sunshine is about like this international space crew that their mission is to revitalize the sun because the sun's dying.
Okay.
So they have to take like this nuclear explosive and drop it into the sun, and it sparks. And
Huh.
So that's sort of the gist of it.
Chris,
Captain America,
yeah,
Evans.
Chris Evans is in it.
Captain America is.
Is it? What's the scary part about it?
It's just pretty intense. Some,
People going kind of mad.
Yeah.
There's,
like
it's
little
like
baddie.
space madness.
Oh.
Yeah.
The shiny candy red
you
button.
idiot.
You idiot!
So that was my.
ice cream.
That almost made my list. So
Isn't that where he farts in the tub too?
Yeah.
Spaceman. Number 4, Event Horizon.
Yeah.
good one.
That one was scary.
Love that.
Yeah,
That one was scary.
One. Yeah.
yeah. That was one of those ones that certain scenes I still get creeped out watching.
I saw that one in the theater.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Number 3, I had Black Hole. Speaking of
Oh,
Disney.
really?
Maximilian.
Really? That was.
I was a kid. That was a little scary for me.
Yeah. That's one of those Disney movies that they cranked out because of Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're trying to cash
But it was
in
good.
on space.
I
Yeah.
didn't think it felt. Well, I was a kid too
Don't know that one.
when I saw.
Really?
No.
But you haven't seen. When was the last time you saw Black Hole on TV?
Oh shit! It's
Yeah, you
been a
haven't-
while.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie.
I think it's
sorta,
one of those
like,
movies
died.
that disappeared.
Maybe it's
Yeah.
already on Hulu.
No, I think it's
it
gone. It's kind of like it's like one of those. What is it? What is that one with Brer Rabbit, Brer Fox?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
what was that one called?
Song of the South.
Sippy
Song
de
of the
Doo Dah.
South,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that might have gone away
That,
for a
that
reason.
you
though.
can still buy that, just not in this country.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, Black Hole was number 3. Number 2 was Alien.
Yeah.
Alien classic.
Yes.
Now I have to admit, I'm not like creeped out or afraid of the Alien movies. It's not scary to me.
Huh. See, I get kind of almost like a claustrophobic
Yeah.
kind of.
If you're stuck in space in a spaceship,
I mean, it made
and-
number 2, so I mean, it just
Alright.
because
Yeah,
it's a
not
good
everyone's into
concept.
the space horror either. So
No, I like I said, the concept is awesome. That's why I sort of gave it
Yeah.
props. But I
Alright.
don't really watch Aliens and get like tense or,
Mhm.
or afraid of anything.
Yeah.
And number 1, I had 2001: Space Odyssey.
Is that a horror?
Yeah,
I think so.
Oh. Well, that
It's not a gory slasher horror.
but again,
Okay.
it's like one of those mental.
Well,
Alright.
and it's a horror because
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you know?
yeah, I get that, but I don't know. I saw it so long ago, and when I was researching this, I was like,
yeah.
I don't know. Does that qualify as a horror? So, all right, I won't say anything else.
Okay,
All right, I'm gonna do my
So-
5.
Okay, and again, I don't have any honorable because it was tough.
All right,
Yes, it was.
my number 5, Solaris, 2002. That had man, I can't remember names.
Mm. Chick, dude.
Is a dude
Okay.
with gray hair, dark, and all the women think he's super handsome. He's older now, but
Michael Douglas.
no.
Kirk Douglas.
God damn it, I can't. You know what? I'm gonna Google it because I can't remember.
All right, that works.
I may have seen. It sounds familiar.
Eric Estrada. Tom Selleck. Burt Reynolds. Rest in peace.
Yeah,
Seriously?
George Hamilton.
George Clooney.
There you go, George Clooney.
Hey, all right. Give that man a prize.
So I did see. I
You
did
hit
see it.
Yeah. I think we went to the theater to watch it, right?
Yes,
Because it was out. It was a thing where they had a space mission.
I do
and
recall that now.
His wife was dead, and when he went up there, the alien
Yep.
duplicated his wife, and then he brought her on board the ship. It was pretty freaky. It
I
was
do
pretty good.
recall that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never saw it, but I remember it now.
Yeah.
Now that you guys are talking about it.
2002. It's not a bad movie. I liked it. It was kind of eerie. It's one of those things. It reminds me of like Invasion of Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
where people aren't exactly who you think they are.
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
freaks me out. Number 4, Sunshine. Again, because that to me is like space madness.
Yeah.
The thing is, the special effects were actually pretty good,
Oh, yeah.
considering it wasn't like a really.
And the cast was
Yeah,
pretty good
there were a
too.
lot of good stars in the cast.
Yep.
But it wasn't like one of those movies that was like a list headliner
No.
flick. Number 3, Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, whatever.
No, I liked
But
it.
to me, the end was the most shocking of it all.
It was. And I kind of liked I liked the concept of a
Yes.
single-celled organism that evolved like not only physically but just meant like it. Yeah, it
became
was cool.
very intelligent, and
Yeah.
and then at the end when he thinks he's leaving out into space, and
Yeah.
the thing figured out how to navigate it back to Earth. That was awesome.
Yeah, I kind of like the way it killed Ryan Reynolds too.
Yeah,
Like he was the first one to die, which I was like, holy crap.
yeah, yeah.
Just because the he's a talker. And
Yeah.
so it was funny the way it killed him.
Yeah, yeah. Number 2, Event Horizon.
Yes.
We went to the theater
Yes.
to see that together.
Yep.
Yes. There's
was good.
there's some creepy parts to that movie. Like
It was good. It was terrifying.
Sam Neill was greeit in it.
I like him,
was
too.
that Lawrence Fishburne or was
Yes.
it? Yeah, Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne was
Yep.
good.
The best part is when Sam with his eyes out.
He pulls
boy,
his own eyes.
jeez.
Yeah. Actually, I think the creepiest part for me in that movie was when they find the lost footage of what
Yeah.
happened to the previous girl.
That was messed
I was
up.
sitting there and my jaw just dropped and I was like, holy fuck.
This is going to be a scary
God
movie.
damn. The concept was cool too. Like they were ripping a hole in the space-time continuum, and that's how they were able to travel such great distances. But what is in that fabric between the two?
Exactly.
We don't know.
And if I
Exactly.
remember, like just some of the abandoned ship, you know, what I mean, that was
Yeah,
like,
the ship.
creepy.
The
Just
ship
it was, like,
itself was
dark.
the
Right. The
Yeah.
ship's name was Event Horizon.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was pretty intense.
It was good. To this day, I think I've only seen it 1.5 times because
I've seen it a couple times because it's one of my favorites, and when I got my kids to watch it, they were terrified.
I'm gonna
by
try
it.
and get my daughter to watch it with me because she always asks me which horror movies like really scary for me, and that's always one of them.
Yeah.
She's like, "Why?" I'm like, "It's just
It's
creepy.
fear of the unknown.
It's creepy."
Yeah. And my number 1 is Alien.
Yeah.
And because when I was a kid, when that movie was in theaters, it was terrifying to me.
It was terrifying, and at the time,
Um,
the effects were great too.
yeah, exactly. And I remember because I have a couple issues of Fangoria magazine. My dad used to subscribe to Fangoria, and I remember the issue where they talked about that movie,
Mhm.
before it came out. And I just remember like flipping through it, going, "Holy crap, that alien looks scary as hell!" And they had like the original drawing by the one thing about this alien. I don't know if you notice it, but when you watch it, H.R. Giger's original design, the head of the alien was semi-clear, and you could see a human skull inside of it.
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah, you got to check it out when you rewatch the movie.
Mhm.
When it comes out into light, you can see human eye sockets and the curve of a human skull inside of its head,
Huh.
and that was to show that its origins were part human.
Well, yeah, and it kind of then when you get to Alien Covenant,
They
then,
connected it all together.
Yeah, wow,
and that
holy
was
crap.
H.R. Giger's original design.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
And one of the other great things about that, when you talk about, remember how we talked about the new It?
Mm-hmm.
And one of the great concepts that the directors had was, hey, let's not let the kids see Pennywise.
So the fear would be legit.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in the diner scene where the alien bursts through, what's his name's chest? I forget the actor's name, but so when they're like in the diner kind of eating in the
Mhm.
lunch cafeteria area,
Yeah.
and he falls back on the table and then
Classic scene.
busts out of his chest. Nobody got to see what the alien was up until that time.
Oh, wow.
The only 2 people that knew what it was going to look like and knew that it was going to bust out of his chest
With him.
was him and the director.
Oh wow.
No one
So
on the
all
cast
the
or
actors-
crew
oh, wow.
had
So
any
they were like-
clue what was going to happen during that
Awesome.
scene. So if you look at the scene, you see terror in the eyes
They're legitimately horrified.
of all the actors.
Awesome.
And the parts where like blood goes up into that one girl's face and in her mouth, like she had no clue what the hell was going on.
Wow.
So that makes the scene even that
So
much
she's
better.
even more disgusted.
Yes.
Yeah, because she's got like viscera and who knows what.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably corn
Yeah.
syrup and stuff.
Yeah, but even so, just that scene, just knowing that
Wow.
much when you watch
That
it
is
like,
awesome.
this is a great movie. There
That's
you
cool.
go. There's
Nice.
my top 5.
All right.
You have an honorable mention?
I don't
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
our scope was so
Yeah.
narrow, and I would have said the movie that we watched this week, which we still have to review, but it wasn't that good.
Yeah, yeah. So
But I mean, we don't have. I mean, we have some dupes, but I mean,
yeah,
Yeah, I
um,
mean, Life you didn't have. Yeah,
okay. So I had a really hard time with this one. There
Okay.
was quite a few movies that I thought I could add, and then I went back and like looked, and there was too much planet or too much Earth.
see
there.
that's the thing that screwed us up.
So I ended up, although now I guess I could have included 2001: A Space Odyssey, but I already had this plan in motion, so I'm just going to go with it.
you can change. Yeah.
I only came up with 3, but I made 2 up.
So your top 3.
I made 2 up though. Ones
Okay.
that I thought would be good horror movies set in space. The first one is titled Dark Side of Your Butt. In space, no one can hear you poop. And the concept of this movie is we're on the intergalactic space station.
Yeah.
Some sort of weird alien microbe makes its way into
Montezuma's Revenge.
makes it into the spaceship, and it starts out, everyone on the ship just starts getting really horrible diarrhea, and they think that's the worst of it, but it's not. That's just the first stage of what this thing does to you. It's growing inside of you, and when it finally feeds on enough of your insides to come out in its pupal stage,
Yeah.
it looks like a giant turd.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
It's
that
like a giant Mr. Hanky.
yeah.
From
So
space.
again, that was Dark Side of Your Butt. In
Excellent.
space, they can't hear you poop. Now, this other one also takes place on the International Space Station because I was trying to think of things that weren't on planets. But in this one, we're in the year 2116, and the International Space Station is now the U.S. Space Station because, you know, we're America.
We're America.
And in this one, this giant malignant orange entity makes its way into the space station and slowly starts melting the minds of 1/3 of the crew on board. And then they turn on each other. And these ones that have been infected by this giant malignant orange space entity
Yes.
start accusing the other ones of being part of the deep space. I call this one Make Space Great Again.
The giant orange malignant entity.
Yes. Those are the 2 that I made up because I
Fantastic.
didn't have enough movies.
Listen, if anyone is listening to this that makes movies, there you go.
Yeah, there's some ideas for you.
It's free.
Again, because I couldn't find any and I felt bad, so I just made some shit up.
Fantastic.
It could be scary.
I would pay to see either of those.
So number 3 was Life. We talked about that one. I liked it. It was. My only complaint would have been that there wasn't enough character development. You didn't really care so much about the
Right.
and there wasn't that many characters. You
No,
know,
I
you,
agree.
you figure they could have done just a little bit more to build them up. It was still good. I liked the idea. Good movie. Number 2 was Alien. We talked about that one.
Fantastic.
To be truthful, I actually like Aliens better than Alien.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've always liked that one better.
You,
but that
you
one,
have something for James Cameron, huh?
perhaps that's maybe I should write to him about my ideas.
Yeah.
I like them both, but I've always been more of an Aliens guy, but that one doesn't really take place entirely
Yeah, correct.
in
Yeah.
space. And then number 1 would be Event Horizon. I kind of laid out before when we were talking about it.
Yeah.
That one really scared the crap out of
Yeah.
me.
That one was definitely yeah.
Yeah, it's one of, like it's not just one of my top space movies. It's probably one of my top 10 like horror movies that if I had to tell people that they wanted to watch something to scare the crap out of them, that would
Turn out the lights and watch Event Horizon.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you touched on the International Space Station. I don't know if you read the news recently about the hole in the space station.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
They
They said it was a drill.
person
Somebody did it
with a drill.
because they were
Space
homesick.
madness.
They lost their minds.
They
there.
wanted to
were
go home.
homesick.
Yeah.
Well, of all these movies we've watched, and we'll talk about the one we just recently watched.
Yeah.
That's a real thing that happens. Apparently,
Absolutely.
you know,
Yeah.
you get stir crazy just being in your house for a couple days without being able to do shit. But then your muscles start to like change, and like they're on the, you know.
Not only that, they were the physics of space affect your mind and everything, really, because there was what was the I was watching a show with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was talking about um sex in space. Someone asked him a question about sex in space, and someone asked him a question about smoking marijuana in space.
Mhm.
Oh, Joe Rogan. It was the Joe Rogan show.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And basically, he said he wouldn't try to do either of those in outer space because of the way that space affects the human body. He says if you got high in space, you could likely break something on the space station. Because if you became extremely paranoid, that would like put the entire
Maybe you just take a
crew-
space doobie nap.
yeah, that would put the entire crew in jeopardy. And then he talked about sex and saying how that could affect equipment on this space station.
Equipment,
yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah. So
So it would have an adverse effect on an erection? Is that-
yeah. You would go back to Earth and be permanently ED.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, so
You know, it'd be weird too. Is like, you know, like you go to some places and they talk about the sex in the hot tub, and then you worry about like the stuff floating around in the hot tub. Think about zero gravity.
no, I don't want to think about zero gravity. I don't
What
wanna
is that
think-
floating down? Ah, Jesus.
Somebody got spunk on the landing switch.
We're not going to let him back on the ship.
Yeah, that's no good. No good. All right, so this month's movie. We decided to go with a space theme. I picked it out. And what was the name of the movie? I don't even remember.
Endeavor? No,
Project
it
something
because it was the moon. It was the Jupiter's one moon.
Oh, Europa.
Europa.
Yeah,
it was
the Europa mission or something.
Yeah, Europa mission. I think is what it was.
Europa Project, maybe.
There you go. Europa Project. There you go.
You can tell already
just
what
say-
an impression
so-
this movie made on us.
Right, and this is the review that I want to. This is my personal opinion of the movie. I was bored by it very much. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it was slow moving.
Yeah.
For sure.
it was very slow moving, and when it came to the end where they finally started to pick up pace, it was
It's
over.
over.
Yeah, they showed you, hey, this is.
Hey, thanks, J.J. Abrams.
And then they rolled the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's weird too because it had potential. Like at the start of it, I liked the way they were kind of showing each person through the cameras on the ship, and you know, I dug that. But
And it was almost like a found footage type
Yeah.
movie too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cinematography was good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, it was a lot like
The planet effects were,
the Blair Witch Project of outer space.
yeah,
but without
exactly.
any witch. And,
Without a witch.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Without a runny nose in the woods. But the one thing I did like about the movie is the inclusion of scientifically accurate information and the inclusion of clips. So they used stock, stock video from actual NASA projects.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
you know, like rocket launches.
Yeah, and I believe that their images, some of the images of Europa that they had, were actually from Voyager 2 when it passed Europa.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool, very cool. And the clip of Neil deGrasse Tyson saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, if I were on Europa, I'd want to drill a hole and put a camera down in there and see what's underneath the ice."
which they did.
And that became really the whole gist of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was not terrifying.
No,
I wouldn't call it scary.
No, there was one or two points, I guess, that maybe had slight suspense to it. Maybe
Just barely.
And I don't know if you guys remember, after the film was over, I kind of made a remark that when you finally do get a chance to see the life form that they discover, it reminded me of the creature from Howard the Duck right at the end where they're coming down
it was
out of
coming.
space. The more I thought about it, and this, you know, then I started like just teasing it out. Like, you remember in
sort of squid-like, I guess.
yeah, remember in Star Wars, the trash compactor monster.
Yeah.
Maybe it was kind of like that thing. Maybe the two universes. like this is where they found that thing to keep it.
That's possible.
Keep watching their trash pit.
That's possible.
Maybe not, but
But yeah, it was. The
I was
squid
smoking
leg
at the time,
thing,
so I was
Yeah, I mean, it was. I would not recommend it to anybody that I know.
No.
Out of 5 stars, I give it 2.5. Better yet, 2.
I was gonna
Two
say 2
stars.
for me.
No, to two.
Yeah, and this was one of those ones where we took a stab at something no one had seen, and you actually said you went online and it got some okay reviews. Yeah.
And then we learned our lesson previously. You can't always go by what people
It's true
say,
because All the Devils Were Here got some good reviews,
and
by,
it was not good.
not at all. No.
But
At least we finished this one.
we did make it through just barely because really, like I said, the pace was so
It was a pretty quick movie though too.
slow.
Right?
Yeah, it was,
It was like an hour and 20 maybe.
Yep.
which helped.
Yep.
But it felt like 2 hours, man. It was slow.
It really did.
It really was slow.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, and then you said that because I was like, holy shit, this was
Yeah.
only an hour and a half?
Yeah.
It did seem like 5
Yeah,
hours.
because it was slow. And once they landed on Europa and things started to unfold, it was quick, but it was like the last 10 minutes of
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And then, like, there was, like, 2 chicks that were kind of cute, but there was
Yeah.
not even anything that happened there that,
no,
no.
like,
Like-
and yeah, I just,
Yeah.
I don't know. It wasn't a good, it wasn't a good movie, really.
No, not really.
I mean, like I said, it wasn't shot poorly, right?
No,
It was shot very well.
Yeah.
I think whoever put together whoever was the DP did a great job. Director of photography, fantastic. It was
Yeah.
great.
It was well shot. You're right.
Yeah, absolutely well shot. But the character development was really poor. I think they tried hard.
Oh yeah,
they
like the
just
whole movie
didn't
was
pull
just
it off.
Yeah, they
character
wanted you to
development.
care about
Yeah,
them,
but they
I
just didn't pull it off.
yeah.
They just,
And-
I didn't care.
And like you said, the planet special effects were sort of blah too.
Yep.
It's like blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically like some. Remember, we made a comment about this. The one part where like they could see the lights from under the ice.
Yep.
And also walking around out on the moon.
Yeah.
And it was like if it was sunny out, it would have been like
Yeah. Well, that was my thing. Is that there's
there's no atmosphere.
They're not wearing any special radiation type suits. And to me, it would be like, all right, so you're on Europa. There's no atmosphere at all. When you're facing the sun, you're probably cooking with the amount of radiation coming from the sun. And when you're not facing the sun
You're
and
freezing
you're in
your ass
darkness,
off.
you are frozen solid.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how that person was in shade to see the lights or how they went outside in sunlight.
Yeah.
It would have made sense if they would have just landed and tried to do their experiments from within the ship, which I thought
Because
is
then it
what
would
was
have
gonna
been like
happen.
climate control inside the ship, right?
Right. And then take off, and even so, they could have had the confrontation with the monster at that point, but they went off the ship, and then it just kind of fell off the rails at that point.
Yep.
And it didn't even really get scary at that point either. Other
No,
than
no.
the meter that showed the radiation kind of going up, and they said, "Oh, you only got like 5 minutes left."
Yeah, you got to come in. Yeah,
And then
and it just
Hurry
kept
up.
going. Yeah. The one scene that we did talk about was near the beginning, the anti-gravity scene. There was one scene where the anti-gravity looked pretty intense, pretty real.
yeah.
And my assumption was it had to have been filmed on the Vomit Comet, but I looked it up and it was not.
Huh.
So, yeah. And some movies do get filmed on the Vomit Comet. NASA allows film crews to do stuff with that,
Oh yeah.
including, I don't know if you
Gravity.
ever saw, huh?
Gravity.
Yeah, they named a couple movies that actually filmed on the Vomit Comet, which is kind of cool. They put a whole set together on the Vomit Comet, and then they do what the Vomit Comet does, which is the nosedive
Dive.
with a 747. But I really thought it was that because that one scene looked like that could be true anti-gravity, but no.
Yeah.
I was
Strings and
fooled
some
for a
editing.
moment.
I know. Some strings and some editing.
Yeah. So 2 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
Definitely not worth watching. Don't waste your time. It's on Netflix. I see it actually listed in popular now on Netflix. And like, who the hell is watching it?
Yeah.
They must have got duped into it like me. Yeah. Excellent. So, next week's top 5.
Let's not make it quite as hard this time.
No, we won't. But the thing is, I'm thinking we're making all these top 5s. We're going to run out of categories.
That's true.
We might have to like revamp a category or something. But yeah.
Well, would that take us into
So next month is
October?
October.
Yeah.
So let's do Halloween
Halloween themed
movies.
There's plenty of those.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. So top 5 Halloween themed horror movies.
Okay. And we
we'll do
actually
that.
have some movies in the month of October coming out, but I think that Hell Fest doesn't come out till actually it might be the end of this month, so that might be a good one to possibly do.
All right. Yeah. Let's. Whose turn is it to pick a movie?
I think it's Craig's.
That's mine.
All right. So we can decide. We can go to theater. We can go to your place. We can pick something in the theater or whatever.
Okay.
I'm game. Just we need to. The thing we have to be careful about is I go to Aruba, October 20th.
Okay.
Okay.
So that whole week, I'm not back until the end of the month.
And we might have a guest next time.
That would be great too. Yes.
Yeah, my buddy Darren is going to be one of the cast members at the Halloween Haunt.
Yeah.
And he's going to be playing a spooky Cajun chef or something. So I thought it would be kind of cool. He wants to get like 1 or 2 weekends in first, so he can kind of have
Talk
something to
about
talk
it?
about.
Yeah, that'll be great.
And maybe we need to get him to come in character, or maybe as himself and talk about it.
Blood
or-
on the Bayou, I think.
Yeah.
That's-
Yep.
yeah, we should.
My daughter wants to go, so I don't know if
Yeah, maybe we should get
anybody's
together
interested.
and do that. Yeah, I'm sure my daughter would go.
Yeah.
We could discuss the haunts too, if we go together.
Yeah.
Instead of a movie, I don't.
We could try that.
I'd be fine with that too.
My daughter would probably get angry with me. I was there while she was there. She's like, "Dad, you're not going to be there." I'm like, "Why not?"
I don't know. For years, we always went. I always took Futz's face, that
Yeah.
jackass,
Yeah,
and his daughters, and my daughter and her friends.
yeah. I think we
Um,
went together one.
yeah.
year
I
with
think you
Futz-
and I
Futz's
think we did
face.
too once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just the 4 of us.
Yeah, we
So
didn't take
that's-
the kids.
Yeah, no.
Something to think about.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah, and October is going to be a good month. So
Yeah, I can't wait for AMC has their Shocktoberfest
Yep.
movie marathon.
and I'm looking forward to the Steel Stacks first Saturdays of every month from here till February. I think they do it. Horror movie first Saturday of every month.
Oh, and that reminds me. Apparently, we went to see The Nun at the Tavern Theater in Allentown, and they have some sort of like horror movie nights, like I want to say Saturday nights throughout like the end of September to the end of
Really?
October. I tried to find more about it on their website, but I couldn't. But they do have like a little like just blurb about like that'd be kind of cool.
I think the Emmaus Theater has something too.
Yeah. And I think
so-
actually within the next couple of weeks, I think Rocky Horror Pictures playing down at Steel Stacks.
Yeah. So maybe that's something we can look at too, because instead of paying the full price of a new movie, we could always check out one of those classics at one of those
Yeah.
things.
That works too.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think Steel Stacks is like $5. I think the Emmaus Theater is $5 too, and it's BYOB.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So that's a
Sweet.
possibility. All right. Great.
Sweet.
I'm gonna get another microphone so that next month we can bring your friend and have the 4 of us talking.
Awesome.
Because I do have another channel here, so that'll be good.
Sweet.
Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Later.
Later.
See ya.